Which country's national flag is not red, white, and blue in color? The United States, the Netherlands, or Canada? Which of these was the title of a 2015 hit single by Shawn Mendes? Stitches, riches, or pitches? Which one of these events in history happened first? World War I, Joan of Arc leads the French into battle, or Marco Polo travels to China? Joan of Arc. I've never heard of the stitches, riches, or pitches, so stitches and riches seems to be typical, so I'm going with pitches because that's we need a hit. Okay, so we went ahead and made riches a big thing. Stitches are a big, but what about pitches? We need to elevate the word pitches to, and then not red, white, and blue. Canada is red and white, so Canada is not red, white, and blue. Netherlands is red, white, and blue. So the United States just copied the Netherlands. The United States just copied the Netherlands. That's all the United States did. Just copy the Netherlands. Jesus Christ, America. Why don't you get some originality? Indigo comes from blue and violet in a rainbow. True or false? Indigo comes between blue and violet in a rainbow. I think that's true. Isn't it? What do adult vampire bats feed on exclusively? Just guano. Isn't it? Apples. Insects. I'm going to go with insects. How many holes are there in a standard modern golf course? 7, 18, or 49? Well, I played golf before. Basically, I was playing 49 holes, but I think everybody else was playing 18. So we'll get to the answers of those questions coming at the end. There's a little teaser for you. So now we're going to go with John Adams. So just thinking about the wonderful childhood, how I could just go explore, bring home animals, and then we had to take care of the animals and the conversations and the laughter. Oh, the warmth and the laughter. The warmth and the laughter. I wonder if it's because John Adams. John Adams, we're going to read his childhood. Let's read a little bit about John Adams, okay? This is from the autobiography of John Adams. My father married Susanna Boylston in October 1734. My father married Susanna Boylston in October 1734, and on the October 19th, which I think, is that correct? Oh, it was October 19th, but then we had that, the Gregorian calendar change. When did that happen? So October 1735, October 19th, 1735, I was born. As my parents were both fond of reading and my father had destined his firstborn long before a birth to a public education, I was very early taught to read at home and at a school of Mrs. Belcher, the mother of Deacon Moses Belcher, who lived in the next house on the opposite side of the road. I shall not consume much paper. In relating the anecdotes of my youth, I was sent to the public school close by the stone church, then kept by Mr. Joseph Cleverly, who died this year, 1802, at the age of 90. Mr. Joseph Cleverly was through his whole life the most indolent man I ever knew, except Mr. Wiebert. Though a tolerable scholar and a gentleman, his inattention to his scholars was such as gave me a disgust to schools, to books, to study, and I spent my time as idle children do, in making and sailing boats and ships upon the ponds and brooks, in making and flying kites and driving hoops, playing marbles, playing quoits, Quoits, quoits. What the fuck is quoits? Wrestling, swimming, skating, ice skating, roller skating. Old John Adams was ice skating. And above all, in shooting, to which diversion I was addicted to a degree of ardor which I know not that I ever felt for any other business, study, or amusement. So there you go. My enthusiasm for sports and attention to books alarmed my father. That's just, God, I remember when I would make and sail on boats and ships. You make a little wooden raft, and then you just get on the Ohio River, the ponds and the brooks, the fishing and the swimming and the making of the boats and the ships. Oh, we used to make kites. Oh, and then take the kites and we would fly them over there and then fly them over here. And driving hoops, playing marbles. Oh my God, the marble playing that we did, the quoits. Oh, we couldn't do enough skating, swimming, wrestling, and quoits. We played quoits all goddamn day long. I like reading good childhoods because it at least shows me the vision that we could do something better. You know, I met a man, and we'll just say Mr. Dave. Mr. Dave, he loved his children, didn't terrorize them, didn't beat them up, and didn't try to dominate and domineer, and he loved them. And so he would talk to them and encourage them. And it was, just to give you one example, whenever he wanted to go out to eat with them, it wasn't, all right, we're going out to eat because I say so. He was like, hey, come on, everybody. Let's get in the van. Let's go get something to eat. And then he was able to get his grown children, his adult children, to go into the van, and they would all go out and eat. But it was because he was fun. It was because he persuaded them. I mean, what kind of man you going to create if you're just oppressing the crap out of him and just do as you're told, do this, do that? He's not going to be able to think for himself. He's not going to be able to do for himself. Jesus Christ, I know I got ideals. My ideal is minimalism. I want to raise my children without dominating them in the least. I think, here's my theory, is that you give them food, water, clothing, and a house. People want to progress. People want to do things. You don't want to just sit about and do nothing. And so by me being awesome and me progressing, me doing the things, you know, working on different projects, they'll get into different projects and, you know, build a house, build a fence, build a website, build a civilization. And because they were treated right, when they go out in the world and somebody's not treating them correctly, they'll know that, you know, wait a second. No, my father talked to me with respect. You are being a piece of shit right now. You want me to just give you my fucking money? Yeah, see, he's a fucking thieving ass piece of shit. He's a hustler. He was going to fucking dominate you, and then he saw that you were kind, and so he was going to go ahead and, like a wolf, he was going to rape the lamb. Oh, you're an innocent little lamb. Well, you know, that's exactly what it felt like with that. I got raped in a jail in Louisville. And it sucks, but really it's your all's fucking, the way you all react to it is so ugly. Some of you motherfuckers like really get into it like sick piles of shit. But you guys are criminal piles of shit. I said it. Only one person in the entire world said, I'm sorry you went through that. And it was just some random fucking person on the internet. But it seemed to me that the Louisville jailer that had raped me, he wanted to show me that, hey there, little lamb. Hey there, you sweet little lamb. I'm going to show you what we do to people in jail. And there was penetration. They hog-tied me. I had a split on my face. And just like the first 20 years, I mean, it sucks to have child abuse, but why does the rest of America not give a shit about anybody else? We got this huge system. We got all these cops, all these judges, all these jailers, all these jails, all the courthouses. So much money goes into this shit. God damn, could you imagine if the fucking system actually went after the criminals who criminalize people? Could you imagine if the system actually protected the good, honest people of the world? The good, honest, good Americans? The ones that are committed to goodness? Could you imagine if the system went after the criminals and protected the good people? Could you imagine cops actually protecting and serving people? My dogs protect and serve me. They are loyal. They love me. They protect and serve. Cops don't even get close to being protected. I've actually never had a police officer. I've been victimized by a person and I call the cop. The cop never goes and gets that fucking person who victimized me. And like I said, in jail, I was victimized by the fucking cop. So when the fucking judge is acting like a haughty-taughty fucking uppity pile of shit, it was 2012, fucking, I don't even remember, Delahunty. Judge Delahunty. I nicknamed him Colonel Sanders because he had like white whiskers, kind of like Colonel Sanders. Those wolves needed to fuck over a little lamb. Oh, look at this sweet little lamb. Fresh meat. He frequently entered into conversation. I've heard that too. When I was 19 or 18. I took a sticker machine. So, big felon here. Oh, man, big felon. But, you know, I got attacked for the first 20 years of my fucking life, like every fucking day. So, what, you're going to say, oh, you took a thing and you're... No, motherfuckers, you guys are pieces of shit. You know what I wanted? You know, just to be incrementally better than my child abusers. Just to be incrementally better. I mean, I've seen them motherfuckers, like, be sweet to everybody. They try to be sweet and they're kind of... I've even seen the old man, like, sit there and rub the dirt off another man's shoulders. You got a little dirt on your shoulder. Let me get that for you. Let me get that little dirt off your shoulder there for you. And meanwhile, they can't even fucking talk to me. They can't even talk to me, let alone rub dirt off my fucking shoulders. So child abusers are piles of shit. And if there's anything about a criminal fucking oppressor, you love them and respect them and give them, admiration and idolation or whatever. They'll fuck you over for life. They'll fuck you over for life. And that's the same thing that the cops actually, when I got arrested, when I was ready to fight them, they didn't know what to do with me. But then when they said that they were the police and I surrendered, well, then they broke my nose. And then they threw me in jail and they raped me. The attorney general, my own mother, my neighbors, my roommate. My roommate kind of gave a shit. He went to the hospital at least and kind of just talked to me briefly. And I liked that he did that. It's kind of the only kind thing that he did. But just talk to your kids. If you just want to be be better than a child abuse. My minimalism, maybe I'll never get a chance to be a minimalist parent. I provide my children with food, water, clothing, shelter, and I talk to them. And because they are children and they admire their parents, because I'm talking to them, they want to do good. They want to do well. They want to be pleasing in my eyes. And so therefore, since I have emotional, controls, emotional power, instead of abusing it, use it to their benefit. What do you want to do with your life? Oh, you want to you're going to have to make money. Well, what are you going to have to do? Well, you're going to have to get a bank account. Oh, you're going to need me to give you a ride? Okay, I'll give you a ride. No, I know that you need a bank account. I know that you need a safe society too. Oh, you go out and every time you go out there, you're getting beat up by, fucking Jimmy McGee. Well, you need to stand up for yourself. That's going to keep on going forever. And you need me to be a witness? Oh, okay, I'll be a witness. You want me to just walk with you while it happens? Okay, that's no problem. Yeah, I don't want you to get bullied by people. That's a terrible fucking existence. So just talk to your kids. You want to be just a little bit better than my child abusers? Just talk to them. But if you want to be a lot better, look at this. John Adams, I bet you if you grew up playing kites and building boats and ships and marbles and hoops and quoits and wrestling and swimming and skating, and he was like, basically everybody, we all did the same thing, as we all do in our youth. You know how it was when we were growing up, building and making boats and ships upon the ponds and brooks and making and flying kites and driving hoops and playing marbles and playing quoits, wrestling, swimming, skating, and above all, and shooting. You know how it is. My enthusiasm for sports and inattention to books alarmed my father. He frequently entered into conversation with me upon the subject. I told him I did not love books and wished he would lay aside the thought of sending me to college. What would you do? A child be a farmer? A farmer? Well, yeah, I will show you that it's great to be a farmer. You shall go with me to Penny Ferry tomorrow morning to help me get thatch. I shall be very glad to go, sir. Accordingly, the next morning he took me with him, and with great good humor kept me all day with him at work. At night at home he said, well, John, are you satisfied with being just a farmer? Though the labor had been very hard and very muddy, I answered that I like it very well, sir. Aye, but I don't like it so well. So you shall go to school today. What the hell, father? I went, but was not so happy as among the creek thatch. No, I want to go back and get muddy in the creek thatch. It's hard and it's dirty. You don't want to do hard and dirty work, do you? I would love to, Papa. Why would I not want to do? I don't want to go to I don't want to read. Nah, she's mean. That damn schoolmaster neglected to put me in arithmetic. Okay, so eventually he's going to explain. See, the father just says, go to school, go to school, go to school. Who gives a shit? They're authoritarian assholes. The schoolmaster's authoritarian. What's the problem? What's the problem? Eventually, he tells him what the problem is. And so if you want me to goddamn go to fucking college, then you need to fix this fucking problem. My schoolmaster neglected to put me into arithmetic longer than I thought was right, and I resented it. I procured me Cockers, I believe, and applied myself to it at home alone and went through the whole course, overtook and passed by all the scholars at school without any master. I dare not ask my father's assistance because he would have disliked my inattention to my Latin. In this idle way, I passed on till 14 and upwards when I said to my father very seriously, I wished he would take me from school and let me go to work upon the farm. You know, said my father, I have set my heart upon your education at college, and why will you not comply with my desire? Sir, I don't like my schoolmaster. He is so negligent, he's so cross, that I can never learn anything under him. If you will be so good as to persuade Mr. Marsh to take me, I will apply myself to my studies as closely as my nature will admit, and go to college as soon as I could be prepared. Next morning, this is incredible. The father is having a nice, close conversation with John Adams. He's going to be a revolutionary. He's going to be an American revolutionary. And he went through college. So this learned, applied nerd, this egghead, this dork is, goddamn nerds run the world, fucking Joe Rogan. He made his money on YouTube, but, could he have fucking figured out the YouTube algorithm? Could you have wrote the code for YouTube? So you need your eggheads, fucking Joe Rogan. And you need your John Adams. America and the world benefited because of John Adams. Freedom of speech and the right to a jury trial. Sir, I don't like my schoolmaster. He is so negligent and so cross that I can never learn anything under him. If you'll be so good as to persuade Mr. Marsh. Next morning, the first I heard was, John, I have persuaded Mr. Marsh to take you, and you must go to school there today. This Mr. Marsh was a son of our former minister of that name, who kept a private boarding school but 2 doors from my father's. To the school I went, where I was kindly treated, and I began to study in earnest. My father soon observed the relaxation of my zeal for my fowling piece and my daily increasing attention to my books. In a little more than a year, Mr. Marsh pronounced me fitted for college. On the day appointed at Cambridge for the examination of candidates for admission, I mounted my horse and called upon Mr. Marsh, who was to go with me. The weather was dull and threatened rain. Mr. Marsh said he was unwell and afraid to go out. I must therefore go alone. Thunderstruck at this unforeseen disappointment, terrified at the thought of introducing myself to such great men as the president and fellows of a college, I at first resolved to return home, but foreseeing the grief of my father, apprehending he would not only be offended with me, but my master too, whom I sincerely loved, I aroused myself, collected resolution enough to proceed. Although Mr. Marsh had assured me that he had seen one of the tutors the last week and had said to him all that was proper for him to say if he should go to Cambridge, that he was not afraid to trust me to an examination, was confident that I should acquit myself well and be honorably admitted, yet I had not the same confidence in myself and suffered a very melancholy journey. Arrived at Cambridge, I presented myself according to my directions and underwent the usual examination by the president, Mr. Holyoke, and the tutors Flint, Hancock, Mayhew, and Marsh. Mr. Mayhew, into whose class we were to be admitted, presented me a passage of English to translate into Latin. It was long, and casting my eye over it, I found several words of Latin for which did not occur to my memory. Thinking that I must translate it without a dictionary, I was in a great fright and expected to be turned by an event that I dreaded above all things. Mr. Mayhew went into his study and bid me follow him. There, child, said he, is a dictionary. There a grammar, and there paper, pen, and ink, and you may take your own time. This was joyful news to me, and I then thought my admission safe. The Latin was soon made. I was declared admitted, and a theme given me to write on in the vacation. I was as light when I came home as I had been heavy when I went. My master was well pleased, and my parents very happy. I mean, what the fuck do I gotta say to you motherfuckers? That, my abusers goddamn shove green beans at my fucking ass my whole fucking life. Do you pay attention? Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? Because I am honest and truthful, and I'm precise with my fucking language. And I like being a good American citizen. I like being a lawful person, and I like having morals. I like thinking that we should treat each other the way that we want to be treated. I like having ideals. And I like thinking that America could be the greatest nation on the planet. My master was well pleased and my parents very happy. I spent the vacation not very profitably, chiefly in reading magazines and a British Apollo. I went to college at the end of it and took the chamber assigned me in my place in the class under Mr. Mayhew. I found some better scholars than myself, particularly Locke, Hemingway, and Tisdale. The last left college before the end of the first year, and what became of him, I know not. Hemingway still lives a great divine, and Locke has been president of Harvard College, a station for which no man was better qualified. With these I ever lived in friendship without jealousy or envy. I soon became intimate with them and began to feel a desire to equal them in science and literature and the sciences, especially mathematics. I soon surpassed them. Mainly because intending to go into the pulpit, they thought divinity and the classics of more importance to them. In literature, I never overtook them. Here it may be proper to recollect something which makes an article of great importance in the life of every man. I was of an amorous disposition, and very early, from 10 or 11 years of age, was very fond of the society of females. I had my favorites among the young women and spent many of my evenings in their company. And this disposition, although controlled for 7 years after my entrance into college, returned and engaged me too much till I was married. I shall draw no characters, nor give any enumeration of my youthful flames. It would be considered as no compliment to the dead or the living. This I will say, they were all modest and virtuous girls, and always maintained this character through life. No virgin or matron ever had cause to blush at the sight of me, or to regret her acquaintance with me. No father, brother, son, or friend ever had cause of grief or resentment for any intercourse between me and any daughter, sister, mother, or any other relation of the female sex. My children may be assured that no illegitimate brother or sister exists or ever existed. These reflections, to me consolatory beyond all expression, I am able to make with truth and sincerity, and I presume I am indebted for this blessing to my education. My parents held every species of libertinage in such contempt and horror, and held up constantly to view such pictures of disgrace, of baseness, and of ruin, that my natural temperament was always overawed by my principles and sense of decorum. This blessing has been rendered the more precious to me, as I have seen enough of the effects of a different practice, corroding reflections through life, or the never-failing consequences of illicit amours in old as well as in new countries. The happiness of life depends more upon innocence in this respect than upon all the philosophy of Epicurus or of Zeno. Without it, I could write romances or histories as wonderful as romances of what I have known or heard in France, Holland, and England, and all would serve to confirm what I learned in my youth in America, that happiness is lost forever if innocence is lost, at least until repentance is undergone so severe as to be an overbalance to all the gratifications of licentiousness. Repentance itself cannot restore the happiness of innocence, at least in this life. John Adams, everybody. That was very unique and interesting, and one of our founding fathers, the second president of America, an American revolutionary. So, some of these assholes, they act like they're like progressive liberals and shit, but they're too afraid to be a revolutionary. Alabama's revolutionary. Mississippi's revolutionary. Fucking John Adams is a revolutionary. And the last thing I want to mention is just a story that I keep thinking about, because it seems like my abusers didn't understand love and empathy, and then ultimately they didn't understand solidarity. The idea of having a group of people go accomplish a goal, a group of people go to accomplish a goal and then get that goal accomplished. There's nothing more satisfying. I mean, it's responsible, it's competent, and it's good work to be proud of your work. So I remember my abusers and the other slaves were sitting there setting tobacco, and we set tobacco on Tim Gripsriver's land. We set tobacco on our land, everybody's fucking property. He actually paid us, which was awesome. They never paid us, or if they did pay us, they would take it away. Anyways, the abusers were there. So one of them was like, doing the fucking following, and then another one was on the setter or some shit and getting the water, doing some shit. Tim Gripsriver was on the tractor. And after we had set this long field in Crittenden, Kentucky. So this long ass field, we just finished setting. And it took, fucking 3 or 4 hours, but we stuck to it, just kept on, every fucking time we would get to the end of the row, get fucking new plants, get it ready, keep the tractor moving, keep the tractor going. You keep the tractor moving, the more that the setter fucking, the more that the tractor and the setter moves, the more tobacco plants get planted. So we kept on it, and we eventually, took 2, 3, 4 hours or whatever. We set the damn field, and at the end, it was fucking awesome. It was satisfying. It was nice, cool night. So we worked hard, we worked together, and at the very end, you had this nice, cool night. And I was just so fun and giddy and playful, and I was just having a good time. It's like, whoa, we did it, we did it, guys, we did it. And the abusers, they took a big old fucking thing of water and they dumped it on my head because that's who we are. We're not good people that stick together and we accomplish goals and we accomplish great things because we love each other and we care about each other. We laugh at each other and we humiliate each other and we hurt each other. So they don't know solidarity. They don't know the word solidarity. They don't know that is such an important fucking virtue. To me, a lot of these virtues, I mean, yes, I come from a place of lovelessness. And so when I tell you that I want to build a house so that my children can be free of abuse, I fucking mean it. And I feel like motherfuckers are either just evil or wicked or just people got their own shit going on. I can understand that. But why would you let fucking parents be pieces of shit? Why would you let parents be fucking awful and evil and wicked? Any one of you motherfuckers say, hey, why don't you treat your children with respect? Hey, why don't you be good fucking people? Now, instead of humiliating your son for celebrating that family got something together, got something done, got something accomplished, why don't you enjoy and be just as playful, just be as playful as he is? I mean, what's the point of working fucking hard if we're not going to be joyful at the fucking end? We got to be miserable and shitty to the fucking end? And look at him, he's being all happy and playful, and fuck him, here I dumped fucking water all over him, now you are all wet, now you are humiliated, you stupid pile of shit, fuck you, and fuck your life. How many times did my abusers say fuck my life with their behavior? How many times did they say fuck your life to other people? Nah, this is the scapegoat. Turn me into a black communist Jew. Why do I stand up for Jewish people? Why do I stand up for communists? Why do I stand up for black folks? Because I was a scapegoat growing up. And I was literally a slave on a farm. So a lot of folks didn't actually... A lot of people didn't endure slavery. I did. And it was awful. And they're still assholes today. And they don't feel fucking a bit bad about any of it. They think they was fucking great. Well, we terrorized him and then he shit his pants. And then we shoved green beans up his ass. I mean, what else can parents do? What else can parents do? Did you try talking to him and being a decent fucking person? Oh, no. We never tried that. Why not? Well, our parents beat us up, so we don't know how to behave. Oh, okay. But he told you. He told you how to give a shit about him, and it wasn't much at all. It was just kind of leave him alone, and, he wanted you to learn some laws. Did you ever do that? Read the Constitution? You don't give a fuck about America? Why wouldn't you read the Constitution anyways? You know why he read the Constitution? Because you unlawful, immoral pieces of shit kept on fucking breaking the law and being immoral and evil and wicked, and you never gave a flying fuck. Birds of a feather flock together, fucking child abusers. Racist fucking child abusers. They hang out together and they cover each other's fucking bullshit up. They're all psychos. So, I wish my aunt would have told my mother to be a good mother, and I wish my mother would have told my aunt to be a good aunt. But neither one of them want to be a good aunt or a good mother, so they're just pieces of shit. They never try to encourage each other to do anything better or anything good. If anything, I could say, hopefully I could get the space and be able to I don't think it'd be that goddamn hard. Having younger siblings, basically, I wasn't allowed to be an authoritarian, and so I had to win them over with kindness and just talk to people. People want you to talk to them. People want friendship. People want people to be kind to them. They want love and respect. That's what people want. But they act like they're so smart because they terrorize the shit out. We terrorized you. And then you shit your pants. Remember when we would shove green beans up your ass and then you would shit out green bean shit? Remember how you'd shit your pants with the green bean shit all over the fucking place? Yeah. It was... And she didn't hit me as much, but she hit me once and didn't feel bad about it. And she kept putting green beans on my fucking plate every fucking time. So it was more important to kiss daddy's ass. Who gives a shit if you're a good fucking person, good mother, good friend, good neighbor? Who gives a shit? As long as you're kissing authoritarian's ass. Canada, the Canadian flag is red and white. Oh. Stitches. Marco Polo travels to China. True blood, 18. 18 vampire bats. Wow, blood. True. So there's a capitalist. Vampire bats are capitalist, huh? Indigo? Yes. Marco Polo travels to China. Oh, that was the first one, not Joan of Arc. Stitches. We'll have to listen to that song. And Canada. Oh, Canada.